Hi family, hi friends, hi food lovers. Hey neighbors, hey community, hey comics, people who like to cook, connect, and kvetch. Thanks so much for joining me for Hot Dish. Hello and welcome to Hot Dish. I'm Lauren Huberman. As you know, every week or so, or whenever I record, I cook up something tasty while chatting with a special guest. It's Amy. And actually, this is a huge thing because this is the start of season 2. Oh my God. Who even knew season 1 ended? Just me. Just me. And why is there a season 2? In the words of my 3-year-old nephew, 'cause want to.
'Cause want to.
'Cause want to. That is my new thing. It works. It's fail safe. It works for everything.
Yes.
So today, start of season 2 at Hot Dish. And what are we making? We're making it's called a sea dog. It's a fried fish sandwich / hot dog, but it's with fish instead of the dog. And so it's unique and it's funny and it's quirky and weird, just like Amy Sumpter, who's my guest today.
I'm a hot dog.
She's a sea dog. Amy is riotously, raucously funny. She's a stand-up comic. She's a storyteller. She's a co-founder of the Kates, which is an all-women's comedy group. She is part of the Beastie Boys tribute band called She's Crafty, also all-female, and she kicks ass, and she also loves to do high kicks. And she's one of my good friends.
Yes.
And Amy Sumpter.
Thank you so much for having me. That was
gosh.
The nicest intro.
I
kind of forgot I did those things. Kelsey founded the Kates, but I've just been along for the ride the whole time.
You've been a good partner.
Yeah.
You can take that credit too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Still working on that, even in COVID. No big deal.
I mean, Amy, you are just truly, when I think of you, I think riotously, raucously funny.
Thank you.
You just crack me up like nobody's business.
I'm rubbing my chin on my mic.
And watch.
Don't do that.
Stay professional.
Yeah, stay professional.
Yeah, just like your roots, your profesh. Amy, today we're gonna make this sea dog.
So
Never
excited.
made it. We're also drinking some very interesting looking wine.
It's really good.
Is it? Do you like it?
I do like it.
Okay.
But it's because I love like Prosecco, bubbly. Like I love wine. But this, I've never had anything like it. Does it have a name or just like funky?
It's called Lemos, and I got it at Infine Spirits on Clark, which I love.
Okay.
And it's a natural wine, and natty wine. It's
natty wine.
No big deal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of murky looking. It's a little funky.
Yeah.
It's a little citrusy.
Yeah. It's very summery. Like it's very hot right now, and it was hotter over the weekend, but it's still really humid.
Yes.
And it feels lovely in your apartment, by the way.
Good.
Thank you, your condo. But in my apartment, it was very hot. So I was like, because I have this thing where I won't turn my air on unless it's like super hot.
I get it.
Yeah. And I think I might turn it on tonight.
You need it
just
tonight.
It's just so humid. Why?
Yeah, I know. You got to have it for sleeping.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yes.
Also, and podcasting.
Yeah. Amen. Obviously. Yes. Also, did you sleep well during COVID?
It depends.
I did not. I want to say in like the year plus, like I think I've gotten maybe 10 nights of like good sleep.
Amy.
Yeah.
Sumpter.
So yeah, and that's how I dealt with it though. I think I didn't sleep. So
I mean, do you take melatonin?
I started, and that's been a game changer.
It's amazing.
Game changer.
Yes.
Like I have a whole routine now, and now I'm like never gonna give you up, and not like so. Yeah.
I know. I feel like an addict.
But it's natural.
It's great.
Is it? I'm just saying
it
that.
is natural.
Maybe
it is natural, but I don't understand how it's not habit forming. If every night before bed I want to take it, and I do take it.
Like mama needs her juice.
It's called a habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got those the Ollie brand, whatever, from Target. They're just like hip, and there's one that was like immunity. Because I also got a sinus infection that wouldn't go away because I wouldn't go to the doctor because I was afraid.
Yeah, well, I
get those all the time. It's like,
it's like no big deal. I'm just blowing out green snot.
Exactly.
But I'm fine.
It's like it's fine. It's at least I don't have COVID. Wah. So I know like Amy's so righteous and funny, and I'm all like, let's talk about downer shit. Like I can't sleep. I'm really sweaty.
Amy,
what's going on?
Sumpter, holy shit. Okay, we're gonna start cooking in a second. I just want to know. Just tell me and tell the person watching and the people, just tell the people a little bit about your background and like performing. And have you always been a performer?
I would say that my mom and dad would say yes. Because I would just lay on the floor and pretend that I was dead when I was a kid. I just wait for my mom and dad to discover me. And I think my mom would just walk over my body like, Amy, get off the floor, But I just had a spirit, like, I was constantly in my head making up stuff and roller skating in our unfinished basement. And then I had a cousin who was really funny, and my parents are very funny. So I was always, trying to keep up, but not really realizing what I was doing. And then in 7th grade, that's when we went to middle school. I had a really bad bullying experience, and then I didn't have any friends. I 2 people stood by me. So I kind of had to find myself, and I was told by a teacher to try out for the school play, and I got a part, and it was like I was hooked. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then even later on, I do school plays. I would went to school to be a drama teacher because I was like, I'm gonna do the safe route. And it just followed me, this yearning to perform. But then leave school, finally okay, I'm gonna move to the city. And because I just lived out in the northwest suburbs, and I remember I would wait tables, and I was an okay server. I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't the biggest seller. If there was a challenge to sell the most porterhouse of the night, I was never going to be the one to win. But my tips were always really good because I'd make them laugh. So I knew if I made a table laugh, I could be the worst server in the world, but I'd still make good money. So, and everybody would always be like, do you do Second City? Second, and they don't know what Second City is. And I would just be like, yeah. And I just messed around with people. I didn't do Second City. So then I was like, oh, I should do Second City. So.
And then did you?
I did. Oh. Yeah, that's actually how I met Kelsey Huff.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we were in the same class together.
So what did you do at Second City? Improv or stand-up or both?
I did improv first, and I did the improv for actors. Because again, I was so nervous. I was so not confident at all.
Yeah.
But then, just doing it and then realizing I was making people laugh and just having so much fun. And the people in those classes too were just amazing. So I did those 2 classes, and then I auditioned for the conservatory, and I got in, and then that's when I met Kelsey. And we just would hang out and talk. And I was going to write a show with a friend, and she kept kind of ditching me. And then I was talking to Kelsey one night, and she's like, why don't we do it? And I was like, we can do that, And I think that's something, I know Kelsey will say this, Chicago's a teaching town or a beginner town. And I look at it like that, but I also look at it you can do whatever you want in Chicago. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do shows. It's not you have to be in the union. You can be weird and you can take risks. And you can just do whatever the flip you want. Also, can we swear?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And then I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
I won't shame you.
Yeah, thank you. So try not to because I swear so much. But we did a 2-woman show, and she wrote everything. And I was good at oh, maybe we say this here, maybe we do that. But she was the writer, and I was just trying to keep up. And then she was like, I want to do solo stuff. And I was like, okay, do it. And then she was the one that was like, hey, I'm doing a show. And that was the first Kate show. And then she was she'd started going to open mic stuff, and I would kind of follow along. But I was I always needed someone to pull me along because I was just too scared and whatever. But then finally it was I've been lying dead on the floor since I was 6 years old. Do it, So I don't know. It was one of those things we did it, and the first open mic I ever did, I had a crush on a guy. at my job. And there was a lot of performers at this job.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to go do stand-up. So I like was going to go with him. And literally that night, oh my God, like my lady boner for him died. He was so bad. He was the nicest guy, but it literally seeing him perform was like, oof, not good. But what had happened was we knew a guy who was a DJ at this bar / club. It was a bar. And it was like a sidebar. I think if I drove by it now, I wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But he decided he would invite his friends. He's going to turn off the music at the DJ thing and just be like, hey, my friends are going to perform for you. Yes, I see the fear.
Awful.
Yes. And not only that, but it was more of an open mic than it was a show. So already like, this is the first time I ever got up on stage. I wasn't planning on getting on stage, but it was just like that voice inside of me was like, you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauren, like this breaks like all the rules. Like you never do a show where the audience doesn't know that there's going to be a show. Like, no, you don't do that.
Never.
Like he literally like turned the music off. I was like, my friends are going to come up. So my buddy got up, my friend, and he's very funny, but like that audience did not, and people were actively booing. Like they were like aggressive. And there was a ton of people there that were ready to dance and listen to like our buddy's music, the DJ, not what we were about to do. And then the guy that I had the crush on went on stage, or the stage also was like behind the bar holding a microphone. And I was sitting there with the guy and like they put down like a bucket of Coronas in front of us. And my buddy started just drinking. He's like, I'm going to get up there. And then because he was getting up there, I was like, well, like I have to get up there. And I pounded like 2 beers in like 10 minutes. And I got up there and like totally bombed. But I just talked about my crush on Eric Estrada when I was a little girl. And like these women started laughing. So then I just like told them the story. And then I got off the stage, which was behind the bar. And they put the music back on. And we were like, oh my God, we didn't die. And like, we stayed there for like 10 minutes and we were like, let's get the fuck out of here. And when we were leaving, this giant bouncer like was like, hey, you were funny. Like in my face, like giant. Like I know that I am not a small person, but like he was like giant. And then he like looked at the other guy, the guy I was with. He was like, him not so much. And I was like, oh my God. Also, like, he was not funny. He was doing like voices and they were awful. And Lauren, it was awful. Like, he was so bad. And like, I know I was bad that night too, but you know, like when you see someone doing their art.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Just because you could be a funny person and have some things that you say like at the water cooler doesn't translate to the stage. Mm-mm. But clearly something that you did translated, and it's so awesome that bouncer said it, because maybe he wouldn't have gotten up again.
Oh, totally. And like, I didn't get up for a very long time. Like, it was a long time. But I was like, oh, I did it, and I didn't die. You know, the world didn't stop. Like, I wasn't sucked up into the ground. I survived. But at the same time, like that was rough.
Brutal.
And that was, like, there's a part of me where, you know, like, it's good to be thrown into the fire. Mm-hmm. But then there's another part of me where I know, like, I'm the type of person, though, like, I work well with chaos. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom has always said, you work well. Like, I'm a procrastinator. I work well with chaos. Like, I hate it, but I can do it. But I've seen a lot of people, like, who have so much potential, and they just let that chaos, like, suck them up, and they don't do it again. And I'm not saying that I'm better than that. No, it's more of a, like, you never know what the show's going to be like.
Right.
Like, you never know. And even when you, like, trust the friend who booked it and they describe it, like, anything could happen.
Totally.
So you just, like, I think that's the one thing that people who get on there, like, oh yeah, I could be a stand-up comic. And you're like, sure, buddy. Yeah, you do that. Like, people forget about all of the unknowns. Yes. And all of the, like, someone could just stand up and just start barfing. You know what I mean? Like, right. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. Like, has that happened to me? No, it hasn't. It did at my day job, but not at this. So, you know, no big deal.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, well, we're going to start cooking.
Okay, beautiful.
And we can keep talking.
Okay.
Obvious. Gosh. But, okay, so we have, listeners, viewers, we have to make all these we have to put all these things together.
Yes.
I have never done this.
Whisk in a bowl. Okay.
Yes, whisk in our medium bowl, which we have right here in front of us. Amy, you have a lot of the seasonings, and you have a couple sets of measuring things. I don't know why you would need 2 sets. Just one would be fine, but you never know.
You never know.
Here's our whisk. And all right, so we're going to put our ingredients together. The nice thing about this little recipe is we can just dump everything in. Okay, I'm going to take this measuring set away from you.
You don't want me to do it?
No, I do.
Okay.
But those have all the ones that you need.
Okay, perfect.
And I realize this is missing a couple.
Okay, beautiful.
This is just backup.
I like the shape of it because it looks like old ice cream helmets from Baskin-Robbins.
Oh, hey, I love that. Oh, man. That's my favorite. Okay, so a cup of cornstarch. Now, just pay attention to the portions because, sometimes that matters. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, cup of flour, cup of cornstarch. So we're going to put everything in. And then this is seriously like multitasking to the...
I know, I love it.
It's extreme multitasking.
I got asked to do a podcast. They made me work. I love it. I love it, though. This is amazing.
It's so fun. It's so funny to think about you, though, being like timid on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you just let it all out, which I think is amazing.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
No, Amy, your energy on stage and like the topics that you talk about. I don't know. I want you to like, if we can multitask to, describe what kinds of topics do you talk about?
Well, for me, like I'm always going to be the butt of my jokes. And if you make me cry, I'm going to talk about you on stage. I decided that a long time ago.
That's great.
So hence why I have a couple of particular stories about men. Because,
Holy shit, sorry. This is really hard to do. Okay, we should measure.
Yeah, measure. And then I'm like, uh-oh. And then, because I just realized I put baking powder. Well, I didn't, but I love it. Okay, garlic powder.
Okay, that's not garlic powder, that.
Yeah, this is baking powder. Yeah.
Do you cook?
I do actually.
Okay,
I cook like a lot. And
beautiful.
I cooked almost all of my meals, obviously over the COVID. Ooh, that was a pleasant noise.
Yeah, that was rough.
But then I made a cake from scratch.
You did.
And then probably made a couple too many stuff from scratch. You know what I mean? But no regrets. Okay.
Wow, you were fast. Did you add everything?
Not yet. I gotta do paprika still.
I think I gave you the hardest part because
you're good.
You gotta work for it.
I gotta work for the fish. I gotta work. Okay. And then,
so we've got paprika, baking powder, Old Bay. I had never even knew what Old Bay is.
Old Bay. That's like very New England.
It has a picture of a crab on it.
I know. What's going to happen is Mayor from Easttown is going to show up because of the... I
haven't seen it.
It's so good. You got to get up on it. It's really... First episode is a little slow, but it like builds. So keep up with that.
My sister was telling me to watch it.
Okay. 1 teaspoon.
So basically, we just whisk together all these different spices plus flour, cornstarch, and then it says we have to add our apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
3 tablespoons, which I'll do, and 12 ounces of our pale ale, just regular old pale ale, not an India pale ale. I don't know. I was at Whole Foods for like an hour staring at the shelf.
But you love that, like when you're like, what is the difference?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, okay, I see India on this one. I see not on this one.
Okay. Did you put the cornstarch in?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now we're doing the 3 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar. That's 1.
I love it.
That's 2. That's 3. And then we can smell that.
Oh, I smell that.
Goes right along with our funky wine. And then we'll do 1.5 cups. That's 12 ounces. Yeah. Okay, of beer. And it says add these and whisk it so that there are no lumps. And if you want to whisk, you are more than welcome.
No lumps.
No lumps.
My lovely lady humps. I'm so sorry I said that out loud.
I'm so glad you did.
No, okay.
No, I'm really glad. Amy Sumpter, you crack
Okay.
me up. So so I love that you go for it on stage. Like, I've seen you perform so many times, but I just want to hear you describe, like, what's your style and what do you talk about on stage?
For me, it's always about me. I'm always the butt of my joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the physicality, that's just like me, So I remember, because I also took, Cameron Esposito's feminine comedy class, but I remember her saying, everyone is a little bit of a character, like there's an element, you know what I mean? And for me, it's very much me, but there's definitely certain things like I won't talk about on stage. And even like I have depression, and, I know, shocker, I'm a comedian, I have depression, like get the fuck out of here, It's like such a fucking, it's just like thick as hell.
Is it?
It is. It
like thick.
It's such a, I feel like such a stereotype. But one of the biggest things is I was always afraid to talk about my depression. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to get more honest. Mm-hmm. And I guess in being more honest, I started talking about like, what are the things that, upset me? Or mainly my biggest thing is if I'm telling a story to a friend and then they laugh, I'm like, okay, there's something here, Mm-hmm. So it doesn't always work, but, try. But then sometimes, you'll say something on stage that you think is just a throwaway line and somebody like a friend will be in the audience and be like, you need to keep that, or like, you need to this.
Yeah.
Because I know I have friends who like, they write out everything and then everything they say on stage is scripted. There's no flyaways. There's no loosey-gooseness. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm very loosey-goose.
Yes.
And I think sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing.
Right. Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
It can backfire sometimes.
Yeah, it could totally backfire. But I would say the biggest thing is I remember in the class, like I kicked, and maybe I don't even remember if I was doing it before. I think I was doing it, and someone made a comment about like, oh, it's gimmicky or something, but then I didn't do it, and I was really reserved, and I wasn't being myself. And I remember, like, I think it was Cameron, she was like, Amy, you gotta keep the kicks. And even a few people in my class, like people I wasn't even really friends with, are like, you have to keep the kicks. I was like, where are the kicks? And I was like, oh, so again, like, it's just weird, and I don't know, like, again, I'm a little bit older, like I started doing this in my late 20s. It'll be 14 years in July that I've been doing this.
Yeah.
But I've been performing since I was 12. So that's 30 years plus that I've been getting on a stage. I've been performing.
Yeah.
So, and for me, like, I count that. Like, that's one thing, like, when you meet some people who've never been on a stage before, like, yeah, you need the open mics, you need to like get that stage time. But like, I've been getting on a stage for 30 years,
Yes.
like I know myself, I know my body. And that is one thing, like, as someone who's older going into it, I know who I am. Like, I'm not figuring that out, I'm figuring out who I want to be on stage. But even that, I'm like, I'm the body broad who's going to talk about the smelly dick and he made me cry, so he's going in the bit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. But yeah, and even I had this like really weird thing happen to me over quarantine, and I'm still kind of figuring out if I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
But
just turning on our oil.
Yeah, I know, I love it.
It's a lot of oil.
Like, it's a lot of oil, but I love it.
And we're going to have to measure the temperature somehow. And I forgot to cut the fish. Shoot. It said to cut it crosswise into strips or something.
Oh yeah, like chicken strips.
Okay, but what do we do with the skin?
We can leave it on.
Okay, yeah. And then we take it off maybe after, or no?
Or you can even leave it, because I don't mind the skin.
Okay.
Like, that doesn't bother me.
Okay, well, we're leaving it on.
Yeah, because I know some restaurants will serve, if you get a nice piece of salmon, sometimes the skin's on it, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Also, it's fat, so it'll just make it more flavorful.
Shoot, but Amy, it said cut it crosswise.
I would do it like this way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you want to do it?
Sure.
Okay. I can do it if you want.
Strips.
Because I want you to tell your story. So
yeah.
you were saying that you had a guy who did what?
Well, I had like a weird
because I got
theme. Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
So, well, here I'll judge by like how you take this. to see if because I told a friend of mine this story and he laughed really hard.
Okay.
So I got takeout from this one restaurant a few times, and I got in it enough times that like I knew the food pretty good, and I had naan, and I got my naan, and I realized that there was like red dots on it, and I was like, why is there red dots on it? But I was hungry, kept eating. And it was also like right after the flippant insurrection had happened.
Oh my God.
And that same week, like my sister was pregnant. She was 8 months pregnant. She was bleeding and she lives in LA and she had to go to the hospital. And
so
that was when
scary.
COVID was like super bad.
Raging.
And they weren't taking like heart attack people. Took her because she was pregnant. And she ended up being okay. So like all these things happened. And then I get this naan and I'm like, why is it red? This is weird. And then like I was like, ripping it, eating, and then I realized I was like, that's blood. Like I ate somebody else's blood. Yeah. And so then I just like threw everything away. But then, and I took pictures of it, but then I told my friend and she was like, Amy, you didn't eat somebody else's blood. And I was like, I ate someone else's blood. But now I still don't even know. Okay. So like you laughed. So, okay. So we'll see what happens with this. But was it blood? Was it not? Like, I don't know.
I thought you were going to say you were bleeding into
No. And the thing is, like, I'd ordered from that restaurant enough that, like, I'm like, what? Why?
What restaurant? Do you want to say?
No, I won't say.
Because you don't want to defame them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Also, like, what if it was my blood? But then at the same time, like, I wasn't bleeding.
Yeah, I think you would know if it was your own blood.
Yeah, and also it's in January, so maybe, someone cut themselves, like, picked up the bread.
Maybe someone had a bloody nose and it dripped in.
Oh God!
I mean, that might be it.
Yeah. So I was telling my friends, and now he just keeps asking me if I want to eat blood, and I'm like, all the time. But
oh my God!
I don't. It was horrifying. Like I was like legit. Like, do I need to get tested? Like I was like my Google search is crazy, and you know what I mean.
Okay. So. Okay, this scares me a little. I've never done any like deep frying, and we are just using this Dutch oven, I suppose it's called. And so it has to get to 375 degrees, and I have a meat / whatever thermometer, and I read online where I've learned about cooking that we can put this in here. It's got to be 375. Or I read that we can dip a chopstick in the oil, and if little bubbles form around it, it's hot.
Okay.
If no bubbles form, it's not hot enough, and if big bubbles form, it's too hot.
I think right now, usually, because I watched a lady on Instagram. That's how I made my first chicken cutlet, not to brag. And she said we have to wait for the oil to shimmer, and it's not shimmering yet. And then also like. Hot oil like will be like just above it. Also it usually starts
like
the you know what I mean?
Like a little shifting.
I love that I just did that around my breasts, like you know what I mean? So like that's what it does. So
Oh my God. Okay, so and there's no way it's hot enough yet.
No,
it's just been like
we're gonna have to wait like probably 5 minutes, and then okay, so dipping it in there.
We dip it in. We put it in here. Then I have so we're going to fry the fish for like 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
It says till it's golden brown. And then we take it out. We put it on the paper towel. Now we're supposed to like do something else with the buns. But to be honest,
butter them up and stuff.
Yeah. But we could like toast them or just eat them as is. Like,
that's fine. I think we should put the fish though in there and just let it like marinate while this is waiting for.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So I'm just gonna.
Just get it in there.
Cause I'm like.
We don't need this whisk be gone.
Whisk.
We don't need you.
We don't need you, whisk.
We don't need you anymore.
You making hot dogs of fish. We gonna get nasty. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
But speaking of high kicks, though, like one of my favorite jokes of yours, though, is when you talk about like, how can I do a high kick? Won't people see my underwear? And then your response is so great, and you're like, they won't see my underwear because it's covered in pubes. It's so good. I love it.
It's so gross. I love it.
It's so good. Okay, so we're gonna leave the fish in the batter.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have more than enough batter, which is fine. I just didn't know how much fish, we would want, we're making cod. It's
Ooh.
a black cod, apparently.
Ooh.
I don't know. They were out of the regular. So
I don't even know the difference. What is the difference?
It's a little, I don't want to say this, it's a little bit meatier.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I didn't want to turn you off.
They're bigger. No, I actually really love fish. Okay. So I'm the opposite of a picky eater. Okay. Like I know some people are very much like, ew, fish, but I'm like, mm-mm. And that fish actually is very good fish. It does not smell fishy. Okay. I worked at a seafood restaurant and they're like, if you go and it smells fishy, like that's not fresh fish. Yeah. So that's like you chose like a great piece of fish.
I can't even tell you how good I feel.
My God, you're like killing it.
I was on the verge of texting you so many times. Amy, what would you think of a fish hot dog?
I'm actually like really excited. And you got brioche hot dog buns. I'm getting fancy up in here. Woo! See, okay, so this is my problem is like obviously like to eat, you know what I mean? And how I dealt with COVID was I did just that, okay? So I made a ton of stuff and you know, again, I'm a single lady, live by myself. So you make something, you're eating that for like 7 meals, you know? So I did that a lot. And in the beginning, like, you know, I think the first time I went to the grocery store, I was just like chili ingredients. So like, this is just going to be for 3 weeks. And then it was like a never ending story. So then I just started like, I made ceviche. Ooh. Ceviche, am I saying it right? Ceviche. Okay, ceviche. I made ceviche. I made the shrimp kind. So it was like kind of cooked. Like you cook it, I think you blanch it. And then like with the citrus, it cooks it. Ooh. So it was cooked. But I want to attempt it with the white fish. But you have to make sure you go and get like good fish. Right. Yes. Or you're gonna you're gonna regret all of your decisions. So you don't want that. But I made that, and then I made a bunch of stuff, and now I'm like, what did I make? Because I attempted to make donuts.
That's something I wanted to try.
I made the Gordon Ramsay ones.
Okay.
But I let my oil get too hot and they were kind of burnt. They were still very delicious.
Interesting.
But I only ate one and then I threw away all the other ones because I knew I was like, if I'm gonna gain 500 pounds. So I need to.
That's a hard thing to make for yourself. Like if you're not gonna bring them somewhere, like whatever.
And that was
they're
the thing,
only good for like a day or
they're
two.
only good. Yeah. So because a couple things, you know, I would like half it. Like when I made my cake, I made it from scratch, and I made the Swiss buttercream meringue. It's supposed to be like real stiff. I couldn't get it stiff.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
what she said.
Supposed to have like peaks.
Yeah, I couldn't get the peaks. I was just like, son of a bitch, man. Even your cake is like, nope. I'm like, son of a bitch. But I like halved that recipe, and then I didn't have like a cake pan, so I just used like a regular pan, and then I cut the cake in 4s, and then I just stacked that, so it was like a wonky.
Wow.
It wasn't straight. It did not look pretty, but it was delicious. It was so flipping good.
Oh my God, who cares?
Yeah, it was so good. So
like,
good. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
I know. I made some blueberry cake at the start of COVID, and I didn't really follow the instructions very well, and nor did I cook it long enough. So then, like, the middle was doughy, so I was scooping out the middle and throwing it away, but eating the edges because the edges were really good.
But see, like, that's almost what you should do from now on, because you won't eat the whole thing.
Right.
You know? You're like, salmonella in the middle, delicious on the edges.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I listened to one of your podcasts to be like,
what?
You know, what?
Listening?
What? And you said that your oven gets hot.
Yes.
So what I do, because I think mine's the same way, like I don't preheat it. I just turn it on. I wait like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Maybe 5 minutes, and then I start cooking.
You're so smart.
No, I'm just
impatient. That's the exact time. It's always 5 or 10 minutes too long, and I'm like, oh shoot, I've ruined whatever thing.
Crescent roll number 507. They're too. Then you like sit there by the oven, and you're like, I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Good tip.
I think because we smell the oil, I would do the chopstick method and see what happens.
Doing the chopstick, we're gonna insert it in.
Oh, little bubbles.
Ooh. We're not even going to use the thermometer. Do you want to put
No, I think you should do it.
I'm scared.
Don't be afraid. You own this. Also, the oil is far enough away. Don't plop it in, though, but you want to, like, gently, like, glide it in.
And it did say to shake off the excess.
Yeah.
Do you believe that or not?
Yeah, but, like, it's okay if you have little clumps of fried of goodness. Like, you're good.
It's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad you're adventuresome. I really I mean, this could be a real turnoff to some people.
I feel like yeah, don't even do that. Just let it go in there.
Okay.
Let it go in there.
Okay, here we
Because
go.
it'll do its own thing.
Okay.
And yeah, and there's so much extra that you just
There's a
let
lot
it go
of
in
extra.
there.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at it go. It's like bubbling. It looks so good.
I know, viewers.
What?
And also, I'm not supposed to say viewers. I'm supposed to make every person feel special, like they're the one watching. So you.
I love it.
I really wish you were here.
Now you need to be one of those Instagrammers who like has the camera like above.
You're right.
But you know what? At the same time, I'm like, how many cameras have been broken by oil?
Right.
Hot oil. A lot.
How many fatalities have there been?
Too many.
It's like madness.
This is just going to turn into an infomercial about not putting cameras next to hot oil. Like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Amy.
Okay.
Okay. So
that looks good. That looks awesome.
It
it's
does.
Like 7:26.
I'm like looking around like, what the hell? I have a timer. I don't know why I don't have it out.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, here. It's like.
Should I do 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Right now?
Do 2 minutes.
Okay. Because really, you'd be surprised when in the podcast world, time just
it goes like that. We got great conversation. We got some funky wine.
Oh man. This is hard as a rock.
See, like, because it's like
not touch
4 minutes altogether. Or is it like 4 each side?
It said 3 to 4 minutes total, and it should look light brown.
Okay.
But it seems
you could probably like
very
turn
hard.
it. But here,
Okay, I'm gonna let you.
Like,
see what I mean? Is that shocking?
No, that's perfect.
Oh, is it? Okay, good.
Oh, this is perfect.
Okay. Is that shocking?
Move. It's like, oh my God, this is like perfect.
Okay,
like, this is what you want, like at the pub on a Sunday or Friday night fish fry. You know,
this recipe was in Bon Appetit online.
They don't mess around.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently, some pub was referenced like on the East Coast that this is the batter that they use. So
they know what they're doing.
Kind of cool.
Old Bay, man. Old Bay. I bought some Old Bay. I never used it.
You did? I've never heard of it.
Like, it's all over the East Coast, and my dad's from the East Coast. So last time I was out there, I was like, I gotta get some Old Bay for the old dad, you know. But like, we never had Old Bay growing up. Like,
no.
Yeah, he kind of acclimated to the Midwest. What? Come on. What are you doing?
I know. So, okay, our fish is getting very close to being done. I would
say, 7:26. And it said, because the thing is, like, the outside looks great. And we just turned it.
Okay.
And it's also kind of above.
It is. It probably should have been deeper.
So, no, I think it's perfect.
Okay.
So I would just leave it. Because remember, like, this is one thing I've learned. The meat was kind of thick.
You know
what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and we want to make sure that the inside is cooked because that's usually the problem. Yeah, take those pictures,
I'm gonna just take one little picture.
Don't let it get too close.
And I know that
don't want to drop that in.
You will not be a fatality camera and phone. You will not be.
You will not be, because I think that's only been like 3 minutes. So I would let it go like one more minute, and then I would say we can like take it out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amy Sumpter. So I love that. I really want to talk to you too about She's Crafty.
Oh yeah, Chicago's all-female Beastie Boys derby band.
It's amazing. What? So I had seen you performing it at Laugh Factory, but that was a million years ago.
God, so long.
And then I just watched a clip on your website that you had posted, and I was like, holy moly, she is like balls to the walls. Like, I mean, whatever. I know you're not, you don't have
vag to the wall.
Yeah, you're vag to the wall. But like, you are like a rock star. And I'm just so curious, like, how did that band start? And just describe that, because it's so awesome.
Well, I met Kendra Stevens through Kelsey and Kelsey Huff. And we would go to Lollapalooza every year. And Beastie Boys were supposed to play like 2009. Okay. And they canceled. And we were devastated because we were both huge Beastie Boy fans. But I had gone back to her condo and we were going to sing, oh my God, we were doing like rock band or whatever. Okay, now we can take it out.
Okay, we're going to take off our fish to you.
To you, viewers, you listener, you, I know, you, party people. That's what the Beastie Boys would say, party people.
Party people.
So,
let's do it.
You got this.
Okay.
So, boom.
Okay.
So Kendra was doing a rock band. She does Sabotage. She kills it every time. Like she's got a voice. Like she can scream.
She was already doing it?
She was like doing it like with Rock Band, you know, the video game. And
okay. Got it.
Boom. And then before you turn off the oil, just cut into one of them just to make sure like it's cooked through the middle.
Okay.
And if it's not, we'll put it back in the batter.
Okay.
We'll put it back in the oil.
Let's do that. Holy moly.
I know. It's like,
it's
ready to go.
Man.
Yeah.
It's breathing its last breaths.
Did we do it? Did we conquer New York? Here.
I don't know.
Here.
This is our backup set of spoons.
I would put it back in there for like 2 more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy, God, you're so good.
No, I just like cooked a bunch of crap in quarantine. So
yeah, you totally learned. Yeah, we are not going to get sick tonight.
Yeah, we are not. You are not taking us down.
No. Fish, you are not.
You are not doing it to us. But I am going to eat this thing though.
Yeah.
Because that, oh my God, so good.
Is it good?
It's so good. So Kendra looked at me. I would say like 2 more minutes because they are thick. So thick. That's the word of the day. Thick. So Kendra looked at me and she's like, I've always wanted to be in an all-female Beastie Boys tribute band. And I was like, I sing Get It Together by the Beastie Boys. I'm so sorry, I just touched my mic.
It's okay.
So I was like, we're doing this.
You already had sung that?
I would do that karaoke. She would do her song karaoke. And she was like, I always wanted to do this. And I was like, looks like that just happened. Fast forward to a year later, I'm in FemCon. I meet Tammy, Tammy, by the way. I just like said her last name. Weirdness. I meet Maggie Thomasek.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I do Beastie Boys as my karaoke jam. And I was like, do you want to be in our all-female Beastie Boys tribute band? And she was like, yes. So we did get together once. And we discussed stuff. We were going to do a show. It didn't happen. Like, it just would seem like hopes and dreams, and we were funny, and like, this is a joke and whatever. And then MCA died. And I remember that day, like, texting them and being like, we either get serious about this and we do it, and we never talk about it again. So the following week, we actually went to a karaoke bar, Alice's, and we did all Beastie Boys songs, and like, we just had fun, and the crowd like knew what we were doing, and they were all about it. And then we started meeting, and you know, we're gonna learn this song, and then we're gonna learn this song. And then we just started talking to our friends who were comics. We're like, will you let us perform? And it was just 3 songs. And we wore track jackets and we would do like couplets. And it was like performance art. But then all of a sudden somebody was like, hey, you should really get a DJ. You should do this. And then we met Sarah T, who was a DJ. And then we started like, oh, this should be a band. And it just evolved. Like, and it was one of those things where I think at first people didn't know how to take us. And like, we didn't know what to think either. But now we did one show last year. It was literally the weekend before everything shut down. And that show actually was a show with a ton of people from out of town. Like, we probably should have like gotten COVID, you know? No big deal. But then,
Aim, will you get another paper towel?
Oh yeah,
over there behind that.
Okay.
It's offset.
Boom, it's offset. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it offset.
You're going behind the scenes.
I love it. Oh my God, I have one of those mini. I don't have that one, but I have like a mini one too.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Okay,
we're gonna double it up.
Okay, double it up.
Double it up.
So
we have 2 shows this year in August. But because I haven't, performed in a very long time, and now I'm on operation, like I got to get into shape. So
it's so physical.
It's so physical. And our first show is gonna be like, I think 45 minutes. Our second show will be 90 minutes.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and we usually do like, let's do another taste, like cut it just to make sure. I think we should be good, but yeah, just cut into that baby.
Okay, so for those of you,
ooh, that looks good.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's good.
I think so too.
Okay, because this is our black cod, which, as we know, is a little fleshier.
I'm gonna go like that. So.
Oh, is it?
Let's like 1 more minute. Let's do 1 more minute.
Holy moly, you're right.
Let's just do one more minute.
This one seems done because we cut it.
Yeah, but I still like all of them go back in.
Yeah. You're not taking. You don't mess around with
we're not messing around. Okay, it's gonna be delicious. Yeah, it's gonna be delicious.
I believe you. It's gonna be worth the wait.
It's gonna be worth the wait.
It is a wait that we're experiencing.
Because also, you know what? Sometimes too, it depends on like when you make a cutlet, that's why they have you pound it, so it's super thin. And anytime I've dealt with like a thicker piece of meat, like I've had to do this like a couple times. So,
okay, yeah, and this, you're right though about the oil. It should have been a little. It actually should have been a little higher over the fish. So, yeah. But I love that you're so adventuresome with this, and because this is an adventure. So you have a 45-minute show and 90-minute show coming up.
Show, in August.
I mean, what does it even feel like to be on stage at that intensity level?
It's crazy. Sometimes it's a little, well, even like when you're doing comedy and you're on stage for like 30 minutes 45.
I've never.
Girl, that is your goal for this year. Okay. That's your goal.
Okay.
Because you could do it. You could do it.
I feel that I couldn't even do it for 5 right now, but.
You know what though? Like you have to think of it this way. It's muscle memory. Yes, it's a muscle. You got to work it, but give yourself props. Like that. This year did not erase your talent. It's still there. Because I feel the same way. I'm like, I was listening to a Beastie Boys song and I was like flubbing words, and it was just because I was in my head. And the same thing with comedy. You're just in your head. You just have to like loosen up, which I know is really hard because like. I made cakes over COVID, so it just tells you like where I'm at physically, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, we all lived through a traumatic experience and like we're all gonna need a laugh and we're all gonna need joy and we're all gonna need like, it was so weird coming here tonight because I was like, oh my God, I have a plan after work and it's not like closing out of work stuff and like going into Facebook or turning on HBO Max. It was like closing down and then like leaving my house. And it was so weird. But it was also like, oh my God, like this is going to break up the monotony of my whole week. I know. And I think everybody is going to heal at their own pace and at their own whatever. And also too, let's be real. We are 2 single women and you live alone, correct? I live alone. We dealt with much different things than people who had roommates or even, married couples with kids. And I wouldn't say that our problems were worse, but I also wouldn't say that people should negate what we went through either. Because like listening to my sisters talk about, working and then being a mom full time and, dealing with other things in life. Like my sister had a baby and then she also had a 4-year-old and then she had to be, she was home with him all the time, the 4-year-old, and now she has a newborn. So like that, like, I don't even know how, like that's different. But I know at work, we were 100% remote. And this woman I work with was just constantly like harping on like being a single parent. And it was so like, it really upset me because it was like you were completely ignoring the fact that, you know what, it's hard. And I recognize that it's hard, but like you get to like hug your kids. Like, I don't know about you, I went like months where I didn't remember the last time I'd been touched by another human being. So it was like, nobody had it harder than the other. Let's just say like it was hard for everyone. Like, I think like that was something that I really did struggle with. Like people just, it made me so angry. I was just like, we're all in this together, and like people forgot that. And
no, I totally get that. I mean, yesterday I called my sister who doesn't work on Mondays and was home with my 2 nephews who are 5 and 3. And she just put me on speakerphone. No one was interacting with me, but I was just like, oh, hello, human beings. And after a while, like my 3-year-old nephew just hung up on me. So that was the end of that. But like, it was just fun. I mean, I did have some, I had a boyfriend for a long time. And so I did have companionship for a good chunk. But yeah, but I've also not had some companionship for a while.
It's hard. It's hard to be like alone in your own thoughts. And then having the whole world write copious amounts of articles about how hard it is for, everybody else. And you're just like, I'm Gen X. I'm ignored like generationally, and I'm ignored just as a single woman in my 40s.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, it was like we all dealt with this.
Yeah.
Like we all did this. So now when people are like, get on stage and be funny, I'm like, I'm gonna need some time.
I get that.
And it's not even like it's not even about like I don't think I still have it. It's more like I need to figure out like how I feel around other people, because
you need to like get yourself there like mentally and like get up and Anne, will you grab two paper towels? I hope that this is done.
I think now it'll be done.
Okay,
I think we're good.
I really hope that our fish is done.
And if it's not, let's just eat it raw. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, we're just gonna eat it.
Yeah, we're gonna eat it. Yeah, this should be fine.
This should be good, especially because we've got some smaller chunks now.
Also, smaller, but also,
I mean, Aim, I just can't even imagine performing though. Like, so you do a Beastie Boys show and it's 45 minutes or it's 90 minutes. Honestly, either one. How like you must burn so many calories. You must be so amped.
I will get 10,000 steps the moment I get on stage to the moment I get off stage. Like it's crazy. And let's be real, during COVID, I've not gotten 10,000 steps frequently.
Well, no, but that's a lot too.
It's just like chunk of time, like an hour on stage, I'll get 10,000 steps.
Holy moly.
But I'm also just like, for someone who is not a thin person, like I do enjoy dancing and I do enjoy like, you know, like I'm that person when I go to a concert where I'm like bopping along to the songs and I'm like, oh, digging it, you know?
Yes.
Like I'm not someone who just sits there like, I enjoyed this. Like I need to like dance and I like experience it, you know?
Okay, we're just getting our brioche buns.
I love it.
I realized that I did cut raw fish and now I am handing you a bun.
Oh, that's okay.
How do you feel about that?
That's okay, because like you didn't put your hands in it, so I'm okay with it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
excited.
This was one of my most I don't know if it was more complicated because this is really an adventure that we
well, if you're frying for the first time, and that's the thing people always forget, like the thickness of the meat affects the time of cooking.
Yes.
And look at it, like you didn't burn it. It looks fantastic.
I mean, you were right there with me, Amy.
I got you.
We're in it
I got you. I got you. Okay.
Okay, so we're ready to try it.
Yeah.
And we can use a different utensil because we did use we did touch raw fish to here a few times.
You know, no big deal.
No big deal.
I just took the raw fish and I was just like, oh, you got blood on it, and then you know I ate it. It was great.
My God. Speaking of blood, I'm so sorry, Scott Duff. I'll never let this one die. But he came over here and we recorded together. And he was my guest, obviously. And I, at some point during the podcast, started bleeding on my face, and he did not tell me. And I went to the bathroom, and after he left, and I had a big streak of dried blood down my face, and I was horrified, and I like chewed him out.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I thought about it for days, and I was like, what did he think was going to happen when I saw dried blood on my face? And what
he probably didn't think about
our friendship.
He was like, "Oh, he probably didn't even see it."
That's what he said. Yeah. But how the heck can you not see if you were bleeding out of your face right now? And I was just like, "Oh, that's fine. I'm not going to say anything." How is that possible?
I did sales for a very short amount of time when I was a school photographer. And I had a rental car because I got rear-ended. So I go into the back of the rental car. There's a very little car. Obviously, I'm 6 feet tall. And I bent down to get it, but I misjudged stuff. And when I pulled out the materials, I hit myself in the face. So I went into the school with a piddle of blood on my upper lip. And she was just looking at me horrifiedly. And then I gave her my materials, and that was when I had hit myself in the face. So I basically gave someone a piece of my own skin and was like, here you go. And they didn't go with us. I know, shocking.
Oh my God,
shocking.
I love it. It's so funny.
So I feel you. You know what? I'm going to live nasty. Okay. I'm going to sprinkle some Old Bay on top of this.
This is great. Okay, so viewer, you are so special to me. I love it. Sorry. Okay,
I love it.
we're about to try the fried fish. We have our brioche buns. We have lemon. We have tartar sauce. Amy went a little crazy. She did the Old Bay on top of the fish.
Like living crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
We didn't even get to talk about your school photography, which just makes me laugh so much. But there's so much going on with these.
I know. This is okay. I got it's coming out.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Ooh. This is really good.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's delicious. This sea dog is awesome. Yeah. Wow. Now I have it everywhere.
It is hot.
It's hot and it's it's messy. Will you give me that? Thanks. I'll have this episode I'll just have a big chunk of tartar and you just won't say anything.
How horrifying would that be if it was just like dripping down your forehead and I was like,
oh my God.
No, I would say something.
I know.
But it depends though, because sometimes you don't notice it and then you're like, oh, is that something? Or
sorry, did you just have blood dripping down your cheek? Oh, that's no big deal. That happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like we've got to wrap up in a minute. Oh my gosh, we've had so much fun. But we didn't get to talk about your school photography, but that's something that I find so funny when you talk about in your comedy. And Amy, there's no way for me to even describe it except for someone to come to one of your shows and watch you and die laughing. Truly. Are you still doing any school photography or not these days?
I'm no longer doing that, but it's so funny because a friend of mine is going to help out her school graduation and take photos. And I was like, this is what you do. And then I was like, shoot, a part of me kind of missed it. But then I was like, I don't miss it.
It's just the funniest thing in the world. Did kids give you attitude?
Oh my God, all the time. And then they always thought that they were so cool. Actually, I would call the kids hot dog. Get over here, hot dog. I would call them hot dog, yeah. Because I knew that if I made them laugh, right off the bat, or was comfortable, get over here, hot dog. Or I'd be like, hey, hot stuff. And then I'm like, oh, was that appropriate? It wasn't sexualizing them. It was just,
they were so young.
Yeah, innocent, But because I knew some kids would get really nervous. So I knew that if I made things fun right from the beginning, they would be more loosey-goosey. Because some kids would come up and be like, argh, and you're like, whoa, shoulders down, ugh. And then also parents lay off on your kids, just let them be weird.
Oh my God,
because that's who they are.
Yeah, let them be weird. Wear what they want, smile how they want. Don't worry. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's just, if anything, it's just so funny to look at later. And it is who they are. You're right. It's not going to change. So, okay, Amy
really
Sumpter, I'm so pleased with our meal. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy I'm here. Thank you so much. I feel so bad. I drank
no, there's more. I poured myself twice as much. Okay, tell that person where you're gonna be, where we can find you, where we can see you in real life.
Well, hopefully in real life comedy soon, but trying to be safe with COVID. The cakes are formed at a bookstore that is still being very safe. The bookseller in Lincoln Square, Chicago.
Yes.
So I would like to stay there. But we're gonna play it safe. Figure some stuff out. But then She's Crafty has a show at Kenosha Pride, Kenosha, Wisconsin, August 22nd, maybe. That might not happen though. Who knows? And then Des Moines, we're gonna do. Des Moines loves us. I love Des Moines.
Amazing.
So Des Moines has a pizza at Fong's that is a crab rangoon pizza.
Delicious. Maybe you should introduce the crab rangoon pizza to the Sea Dog.
I should, and then they can have a baby. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. But we'll be at a block party August 28th in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I know, I'm excited.
Great.
Thank you so much for having me. This is the best meal.
Amy, please.
So good.
We're going to keep the party going. We're going to go out on my deck. And you, apparently, I'm sorry, aren't here to come with us, but we'll be out there. And what else? Lincoln Lodge, thank you so much. Christine Ferreira, love you. Also a plug for my friend John Keel's podcast. It's called Song Surfing. Really cool, all kinds of different artists. There are so many podcasts at Lincoln Lodge and shows. And
Support local comedy, Lincoln Lodge. They're amazing. Take a class. They're amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. And FemCom being run through Lincoln Lodge.
I taught storytelling there last summer.
I mean, and I've taken some of your storytelling.
What?
When you were filling in for Kelsey.
Yes.
You were wonderful. So
anyway,
Lincoln Lodge, we love you and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're done.